Oh, hey everybody. How's everybody doing? Oh my God, no video. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let's see. Let me fix the chat window real quick and then we'll get right into the editing. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. Good to see everybody here. Lauren, good to see you as always. Hey Darren, Plato's back. Jonas, if I would send 10 by 10 pics to edit, would it vanish altogether? Yes. 10, if you mean 10 by 10 pixels, yes, I would not see it. Um, okay, so as always, sorry for the late start again. I just falling behind. Hey, Lasipius, how good to see you. I as always, you guys can submit your images and I download them and edit them best I can. But I always appreciate feedback from the chat section as well. So I'll try anything. So I think it's a good learning experience about using workspace and composition and just seeing things through other people's eyes sometimes is helps. And if you hear a little noise in the background, I turned my AC on. So if you hear my last live stream, my room got up to 84 degrees and it was just starting to get a little bit too hot. But anyhow, lots of pictures this week. So I'm going to do the workflow a little differently. I'm going to edit the raw images first. And then go to the JPEGs, because sometimes you guys send me both the raw and the JPEG, but the JPEG is your edit version. And I ran into editing your edit on top of what you did instead of working with just the raw image. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to work with the raw image first and then go to the JPEGs. Then if I see the same picture again, then we can compare my edit to yours. So I haven't really seen your edits yet, other than a little thumbnail when I was downloading them. So let's go ahead and set it to 70. I have it set to 75, but the room never goes below 79 at best. So like I said, I need to buy. I think I'll buy it. What's today? Sunday. I'm going out tomorrow, so maybe tomorrow I'll get a new window unit. Okay, let me switch over to the editing. And where are we? I think this is the right one. Yeah, awesome. All right, so the first image here we have is from Bob. Bob is very consistent, submits one every week. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys when you send pictures in for me to edit, because I learn a lot too. Uh, and I live vicariously through your eyes, right? Because I haven't been out photo walking in a while myself. All right, what do we have here? We have kind of a vertical landscape. That's interesting. um, Hi Lowe's. Yeah, you can send one. I'll have to get to it at the end because I have to download it separately. But go ahead and send it, and I'll look for it. Let's see. Let's look at the EXIF data real quick. So ISO 200, auto white balance, f8, -1 exposure comp with a Olympus 12 to 60. So this is the 4/3 lens, I believe, on an EM1 Mark II. Anti-shock single frame with digital with ESP metering, so just regular metering. Gates, when I'm looking at an LG dual inverter window unit, it's like $550. But ultimately I think I'll get my money back in terms of the quiet machine, and it's more energy efficient. Oh, look for a link below in the description, Lowe's, for the link to send it to. Yeah, it's in the link. Let me see if I can find it. If you don't see it, just I'll put a link in the chat window. Where did my workspace go? Here we go. And the chat window. My bad. Uh, okay, so yeah, let's see the detail here. Actually, you know, I'm warming up to this 12 to 60. I didn't like it as much as your 12 to 45 or whatever that other 4/3 lens you were using. I felt like it was sharper. But this one, I'm warming up to it. I can see why you take this out more. So you were zoomed in all the way out to 60 millimeters on this, it looks like. I like the sheep. Man, you were really far away. But yeah, the picture is right here. It's too bad you couldn't just like walk all the way up to here and just get this, because I like this little shed and I like the sheep. And then look at these lines coming up here. Because the sky is a wreck. It's too much haze in here. And that's gonna be tough to recover anything interesting. And a little town there, so but yeah, all of this here just doesn't mean anything. So I'm gonna crop right in really tight first. So let's go to the edit tools and crop in. And I'm gonna go wide. Oh, where's my, oh, you know, I had to reinstall my workspace because it kept crashing on me. Let's just do 16 by 9. Nine by 16. Oh, come on. I forgot how to do it now. Custom. 9 by 16. So if you want to make your own custom ratios, that's how you do it. Let me add another one. Some of the custom settings I like are 16 by 7. And one more custom is 7 by 16. Yeah, I think this is the right crop right here. But I feel like right in here is the image. So let's see how that looks. All right, from here, let's just do some dehaze. And dehaze you can be really wishy-washy with, you know, it's really a very subtle filter. Of course, watch it render and look like crap. Hold on. Yeah, see that the haze didn't have that much effect. Let's look at this full screen for a second. This is photographically this is a little rough up here, but it does tell kind of the whole story of seeing like this farmland or open area right next to a suburban area. I think I'll leave that. And let's go to add a tiny bit of contrast. I'll look for it, Lowe's. Um, you like the rabbit? Is there a rabbit in there? You're crazy. I don't see no rabbit. Now let me just warm it up a little bit. I think we're like 90% there. Yeah. And then let's throw some sharpness back in. We can turn off the noise filter. We don't need that because you're at ISO 200. And see how that looks. I think we need a little more work. I want to bring the highlights up a little bit. So I'm just doing simple edits here. What gradation? We're in normal gradation, that's fine. You know, clarity sometimes brings the highlights in pretty good. Let me see what, no, that looks like crap. Back that off a little bit. And maybe I can do it with a tone curve. So what I want to do is brighten up this green area right here. So if you look at the histogram, you'll see a little blue dot. So that's telling me where I need to raise the, or change the exposure. And then this area is down here. So I think if I put a lock here and a lock here and just raise this part, I can kind of get the look I'm going for. Just a little bit of a bump. And pull this blacks in a little bit more contrast. Let me look at my framing a little bit. Maybe right about there. Yeah. We need a little bit more red. I want to make this little structure here punch out and bring in some more reds in here. So if we have a just color available, we do. Let's see if I can crank up saturation on the reds. And I'll probably have to do it on the yellows as well. Give that a chance to render. All right, good. I think I'm done. So let's do a quick before and after, let that render. And how about some dodging and burning? You know, the Workspace doesn't have dodge and burn. It doesn't have any brush tools other than the one healing brush. Oh, hey Rick, how are you? Yeah, you can't stay, been busy, I know. I have to talk about Rick in the next stream. Rick is going through open heart surgery. He gave me permission to talk about it. So he may not be in the streams very much between now and August when he's done. So everybody, you know, send your prayers out for him and his family for a successful surgery. I mean, it's a very common surgery. The risk is relatively low, especially if you're in good health otherwise. But still, you know, wish him the best. All right, let's take a look at the before and after. So yeah, basically you can see the sky here. I didn't think added much. Even if I could recover some of the sky, what's right below it is not very interesting. So I just focused in right here. If anything, I would crop in a little bit tighter than I did with mine. But if we look at mine full screen, this is my final edit. All right, nice shot though, Bob. You always have the best landscapes. Okay, let me check real quick for low here. Where's my... Yes, actually 2 have come in. 3, 4. Wow. Let me download it real quick. Oops. No, not that. This way. Right click, download. To there. Looks like there's one here from Sam as well, last minute. Load. Interesting. I think Lauren also submitted. I think I got this one, but I'll download it one more time. Ilari Ku also downloaded one. Okay. Okay. We're good. Where's my thing here? There we go. Oh, hey Bob, you made it in. All right, awesome. Okay, so let's see. I got it, Lowe's. It came in just fine. Uh, looks like I got two of the same, so I can delete that one. We'll work with this one. Here we go. This one here is from Ilari Ku, and let's look at the EXIF data real quick. We have ISO 200, f8, 1/8 of a second, 40 to 150, f4 to 5.6, EM10 Mark III. Okay, awesome. Anti-shock single frame ESP metering. So you didn't do any, you dialed in +7 exposure comp, plus 0.7. So 2/3 of a stop, I guess, to save the shadows here, right? But you still save the moon, looks like, which is good. So this is an excellent starting point for a raw image. You did a really good job exposing this. So let's look at it full screen and take a look. So this is the moon. Lots of good colors in the skies. I'm wondering if I can get, man, if it was a little bit darker, we'd have got a little bit of a shadow on the building caused from the moon. Those are always interesting shots. But I think compositionally we're there. I don't need to change anything on the composition. We just have to work with the colors, I think. So let's go to, let me see. I don't know if I want to warm it up. I actually might want to cool it down a little bit. Just because it's a moonshot, I like nice cool images. And you were using auto white balance, I believe, so that's why it's adjusted. But I think night shots with a moon need to be a little bit cooler. Then let's add the magenta back in. And now this scene here, this is all down in here. I put a pin here and try and raise this a little bit. And then I'm going to add the contrast back in this way. Actually, let me do the haze first. I'm going to do about half. And tiny bit of clarity. I'm trying to see if I can save the moon a little bit, because the moon is right at the top of the exposure. I don't think I can save it. Yeah. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, I can't do it in Workspace. It just doesn't have the fine-tuning control I would need to bring the the moon back in. In Lightroom, I could do this pretty easily. See if I can do it with this. No. Workspace ain't gonna do it. In Lightroom, I could really bring this moon in. Let's see. Let me bring some contrast back in. Like so. Now let's ramp up the colors. Just an overall saturation. And something is just not right. Let me try eye enhance. I rarely use this, but this image just doesn't have the it's just missing something. Let me do auto gradation, see if I can bring this in more. And I can reset this. All right, now we're getting there. I think this is good. That's a mistake, but let me see. Right there. Maybe I jacked up the white balance. I went a little bit too cold. Let's do 58, 59. Yeah, that helped the brick, because the brick is just not looking right. So, do I have any color control? Probably not. Oh, I do. All right. So, let's that's fine. Crank up the red. And the orange. And I want to bring these greens in a little better too. And I'm going to pull back on the blues just a hair. All right, I think that's all I can do here. Let me see. Nice red brick. A little bit of noise. So let me put a noise filter on. Let's do a standard. And good. I think we're done. So let's do a before and after. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. I mean, the white balance could be a little bit different. I mean, you can kind of go in a lot of directions with this, but I think that looks better. What do you guys think? I think that looks a little better. I'd like to bring out more of the purple, actually. If that might be too much, but let's see. Yeah, that looks good to me. Good detail here. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Always something, right? Let's bring the sharpness back in and see how that renders out. Give that a second to render. Okay, a little better. All right, I'm done. Good one. Laurie Koo. Let's go to the next one. Oh, this is Roman. Because I remember he took a picture of like this part right here where there was a couple. Yeah, I'll do yours low in whatever order it comes. A little bit soft back here. Where's your focus point? Well, let's look at some EXIF data. Let me see what's going on. 1/80th of a second, or ISO 80, 1/320th of a second. Olympus 45 f1.8 at f7.1. So I'm trying to figure out where the focus point is, because this f1.8 should not be this soft. Unless you got the noise reduction cranked all the way up. This lens should not be this soft. I've taken amazing images with this lens. But your image is a little soft, Roman. I can't explain it. I thought maybe it was motion blur or something, but okay, so never mind that. Let's look at the let's just add the sharpness back in right here. I might have to add more with the unsharp mask. But we'll start with that. Oh, you know, your noise filter, when you're shooting at like ISO, below ISO like 800, generally you can turn the noise filter off when you got good light. So definitely, Roman, that's part of the problem, because now it's still a little bit smudgy though. But it looks like you focused right here, and then everything else got kind of soft. Yeah, I don't think it's focused to infinity. I think, well, let's look in the sky. No, the sky is blurry too. But yeah, this is way too soft for this lens for some reason. But God, look at that water, man. So blue. I love that. Everybody's out having a good time. Makes me want to get out. But okay, let's work with this. Compositionally, I'm gonna get rid of this road. And I'm just gonna focus right here. Again, another wide crop. We'll go 16 by 7. Just like that. Yeah, it's a little soft, right, nature? Uh, maybe not quite that crop. Let's go right to there. I'm debating if I want this, whoops, it's level. I don't need to straighten the horizon, but I definitely want to get rid of this half circle here in the corner. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that's better. And then let's work with the gradation a little bit. I want to bring the trees in. So we'll do that. And let me work with the sky a little bit. Crop a little more, lose the light to the right. This lamppost, right? Yeah, I was thinking about that. But I like how, well, I guess this is kind of framing all right too. Crop in a little more. Yeah, that is better. And about that there. And I'm gonna go with just a tad more. Let's do it with the haze. I think I want to bring the sky in a little more. There. Now we're in good shape. And color-wise, we're really good on the white balance, but we can go just a little bit more. Try 62. No, 61. Let's do 6100. And we'll add some clarity for some speculars in the water. Probably just about 25. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna punch up these reds here and these structures. So let's do that with luminance first. Hopefully those will come out. And let's do saturation on the reds. The first tree, this tree needs cropping out. I don't know. I think it frames everything pretty well, but I can see where you're going. I'll try a little tighter crop, but the image is a little soft to be cropping in that much. I don't know. I don't know if I really feel good about cropping that much, but we'll see. Let's look at the full screen now. Yeah, the reds came out perfect. I love this. Kind of jacked up this person here, but that's okay. I think that looks pretty good. Ooh, you got a little spot right here. That looks like a sensor spot. Check your sensor and your lens for any kind of spots or dust. This looks like a spot though, like a either on the rear element or on the lens. On the rear element of the lens or on the sensor, I mean. This doesn't, you know, typically you don't get spots like this on the front element. That's usually all blurred out. I think that looks good. I think I'm done. I think this captures it really nicely. So we'll do a before and after. And yeah, I think much better. Much better. More definition in the clouds. The red structures stand out. And we captured the water. You just need to watch your focus point, Roman, somehow. Like I would have probably focused on this tree or on this boat to really get in sharp, because your aperture and your shutter speed are perfect. So I'm not sure why these are a little bit soft. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Nice shot though. Really nice. This one here is from Dave. Dave sent me a message about this one. What is this? That's interesting. I'm getting some artifacts here though. Is this like a, let me look at the let me look at the EXIF real quick. EM5 Mark II F13. Ah, this is the problem. We're getting some diffraction. ISO 320. So your exposure settings are not optimal here. Great lens and camera, but you're like F13, -1 EV, 1/250th, ISO 320. So yeah, your problem here is the uh, all of your exposure settings are really, and I get it, you're trying to get that depth of field, right? That wide depth of field, but I think you could have stopped down to like F8 and then use the lower ISO. But okay, so compositionally, there's just too much grass here. I like this part right here. And I don't like the grass. I mean, I like foreground, but this foreground is going down away from the scene and taking your eyes away from this beautiful mountain scene right here. So that's I'm like known for cropping now, but I can't help it. Look at this picture. What would you do? You know? Um, this definitely needs some crop here. Um, so we're gonna go to 7 by 16 and just capture this part right here. And then tons of dehaze and all that stuff. So let's do a quick edit here. We need to crank the dehaze all the way up. We need the sharpening back in. We need a little bit warmer. So let's work with the white balance. We're at 52. I think about 6K will be better. And I'm going to bring out the yellow of this road with the adjust exposure. So, oh, I don't have access to colors here. Dang it. So forget that. Let's, maybe I can do it with a channel. But let's work on the contrast a little bit. Maybe right about there. And then let me see if I can bring the yellows out. So what? Opposite of red is cyan, opposite of green, opposite of blue. So let's work on the blue channel and find where we need to be. So the blue dot's jumping around right in there, right in the midtones. So this tiny bit spike right here is what I need to adjust. So I'm going to put a pin. I'm going to be very tight here. I'm going to put a pin on either side of this thing. Oops. And then just work with that. One thing. I pull it back slightly. All right, let's back out and see. That helped a tiny bit. Let me pull it. All right, a little bit too much. We're getting some smudginess in the color. A little bit less. All right, that's gonna have to do. And let's just crank the contrast up now. And some clarity. Actually, I think the gradation is the problem. Let's do a normal gradation. Ooh. Ooh. Wait. That made it really dark, so I hate to bring up exposure comp because that'll kill some of the contrast. But let me see. Let me look at this full screen for a second. Give it a moment to render. All right, good. I think the auto gradation was better. Dang it. And I'll have to pull this back a tiny bit. Let's add some clarity. Oh, gradation, it basically, it adjusts the tone curve. So auto gradation tries to bring the shadows and highlights closer together. So less contrast, but it pulls in the shadows and highlights really nicely. Normal gradation applies a normal S curve to the tones. And then you know, then low and high just are opposite, right? Low crushes the shadows more, and then the other gradation pushes the highlights. I think we're there. More clarity, and then pull the exposure back again. And maybe a slightly different crop. I need a little more symmetry here. I want this mountain to be in the center. And all right, so let's do a before and after here. So I still need a little more contrast, but I think this is a much more interesting composition than this. This grass is just, if the grass was leading up to the scene, that would be one thing, but it's just dipping down into the trees. And that's the problem I'm having. And the most interesting thing here is this little road going into this mountain. So you're thinking, all right, so I drive this road if I want to go to this mountain, maybe, you know. But yeah, the only thing I would do is just add just a tiny bit more contrast. See if that does it. Oh, that's the blue channel. Hold on. I have to go to this channel. Yeah, this is my final edit. You couldn't move the grass, Dave? This is where I would go. Something like this. So really you need a telephoto lens. You'd probably need your, at least, because I think you were at what was your focal length here? You're extended to 40. Yeah, you need to be at least triple that. So 40 to 150. So if you're at like 150 millimeters with the 40 to 150 kit, you could have cropped this in and got a lot of nice detail, I think. But that looks good. Okay, let's move on. But nice scene. What do we got here? Oh, Lowe's, I don't normally send them back. If you want it, just let me know. Just like when the stream's over, like towards the end, I'll give you a link if you want to really download whatever editing I do. Okay, we need to do a little bit of straightening. But this bird is crazy. I've never seen a bird like this before. Okay, I'll do yours after this one, Lowe's. I normally do them in the order that they just show up in Workspace, but it doesn't really matter. Because normally I like the eyes to be level whenever I do animals, even if it goes kind of Dutch. But even this pole is a little bit crooked, so let me at least get this pole straight. And yeah, we just need some contrast. So let me do that myself right here. Good. Now let's crank up the color. We can add a little dehaze just for the heck of it. I have color? Yes, I have color. Oh, I didn't look at the EXIF data. We'll look at that next. Yeah, I did get your image, Lo. What I like here is, I like this. Okay, so this is kind of a green. Let's see if we can bring out those greens a little. Oh, but there's green back here. So this is a blue green. So I need to be right about here on the saturation. That helped a little. And I want to bring out this yellow beak. So let's crank the saturation there. I'm kind of exaggerating the bird a little bit, but um, I'm wondering if I should do a vertical crop and get rid of this bar here. This bar is a little distracting. So let's do... I don't have any vertical crops in here. I have to make one. Let's try 3x4. Yeah, I think a square crop would be... Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, I like this. I think a square crop would be too tight, actually. We have to go kind of vertical. All right, we need more contrast. I don't think there's anything else I can do with these greens to bring them out more. Or this blue-green color. Let me try this one. And this is from John Leach. I don't know if he's here. All right, let's work on a little bit of clarity. Put the sharpness back in. Do a low noise filter. And I'm going to work on the contrast a little bit here. Let me let this render. Oh, when I get a new laptop, I'm just... right about there. Let's go to the blue channel. And I want to bring these blues in even more, this blue-green. Let me see where these are at. These are way up in the histogram. So let me put a pin here and a pin here. Hang on, I'm really not hitting it. Not really helping a lot, but a little bit. Okay, I think I'm done. A little bit in the highlights. We just need a little bit more highlight right about here. And a little bit too much noise here. So let me see if I can fix that. What are we doing here? We already did... Oh, noise filter's off. That's why. Let's do standard. Okay, that's good enough. And a slight straightening, just a little bit more. All right, good. I'm done. Let's do a before and after. Yeah, I think that looks good. Oh, it's still rendering. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Almost done rendering. There's a little hourglass up here if you guys can't see it. But yeah, I like the crop. Great background. Good colors. Really good shot, I think. All right. Nice one, John. Let me see. Lowe's. Where's Lowe's was a JPEG. I think I have to do it this way. I know I downloaded it. Hold on. Sometimes I have to go out and back in for it to kind of refresh. Let's see. Sam, Lauren, Dave, Wahab. There it is, this one. Oh, okay. Kind of a Dutch angle, crystal ball. I think you're on the right track here with the framing. I kind of like this open. Normally, you know, when people frame things, everything's closed in, but you left this part open here, which I kind of like. Not sure this Dutch angle works. Let me see. I'm gonna crank up these reds and blues. The greens are gone back here, and these are too dark, so this is gone. I mean, you already processed this pretty well, it looks like. So let's look at the EXIF data real quick. This is your iPhone. Okay, at f2.2 ISO 25. So that's why it looks processed already, because you did it with your phone. All right, that makes sense. So what I would do is, I'm not sure about this Dutch angle. Let me see what it looks like straightened out. The runner-up did an image like this with the ball. Is that right? Yeah, I can send it back, Lowe's. Just hang on. What you can do, just Rob at robtrek. Just email me and I can email it back to you. Okay, just email me and say, you know, can you send me my edit? And I'll email it back to you. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we're there. I like that better than the Dutch angle. I mean, I like the Dutch angle, but let's frame this a little bit differently. I don't want this blurry stuff in the bottom, this green mush. And all right, let's do some haze. And I bet a monotone filter with a red. Let me see. Let's do monochrome with red. I bet that would look good. It might, yeah, that's looking good. All right, let's crank up the dehaze. And we're doing good there. I don't know if the red, let me pull this back a little bit. Let's work with the luminance. Oh, that's not helping. Where are these colors at? I'm trying to make these a little bit different. Yeah, there we go. Mostly in the yellows. That's looking better. And the blue skies, I think, let me darken the blue a little bit. Blues are mostly in here, right? All right. And I'm gonna brighten the reds. So when you have a color image, you can work with the colors in black and white to kind of, you know, work with the tones a little bit. That's all I'm doing. Just so you know, just for people that don't know. Now let me work on the, let me see, I want to bring these out more. I'm gonna put a pin here. Yeah, right. Whoops, I got one too many dots. Hold on. Let's do that. Yeah. Right there. Let me bring this up a little bit. Right there. Add a little negative space. Where's my clarity? Clarity will, I think clarity will be the last touch. A little bit more. And crank that up. Sharpness. All right, I think I'm good. So let's look at the before and after here. Give it a second to render. I should work it a little more, but actually I kind of like the grittiness in the sky. That doesn't bother me. Normally this kind of grain or grit would kind of bother me with the sky, but it really, I think, contrasts the smoothness of this glass here quite a bit. So I like it. And let's go full screen. All right. Yeah, I like this. I think I'll add just a noise filter. It's just a tiny bit too gritty. Just a tiny bit too gritty. Where's my noise filter? Here. Oh, I don't have a noise filter. So I'd have to use unsharp mask to sharpen this. Let me do it that way. Let me see if that, add this back in. Yeah, I'd have to use unsharp mask. So let's do it this way. Let's go about halfway. And I have a whole tutorial on unsharp mask. Let's do one pixel. And then threshold about 10. No, we'll probably have to go a bit higher. All right, let's see how that looks. There we go. Now we're talking. I'm gonna go really high on the strength. I might have to crank the threshold up a little bit. A little bit higher here. Oh, that's a little bit too much. All right, I'm done now. I'm not crazy about the crop. I feel like a little wider crop work better. All right, now I'm done. Okay. Final answer. There you go. A little bit, still a little bit too gritty in here, but Workspace won't let me use a noise filter. But really, really nice shot. Let's move on. So just email me if you want me to send this back to you. Or you can just copy what I did here. The upper left is not adding this side. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's do simple rule of thirds. I mean that's another way to do it. I think that works too. The ball is a little bit too much to the left for me, but I think I like my crop a little better, the original. Going a little bit wider. Like that. Yeah, don't beat the life out of this. Thank you, James. Let's move on. Oh, let me go back to the raws real quick. I need to finish. Let's see, where do we end up here? Right here? Okay, easy one here. We just need to go get rid of this sky and get rid of this bottom set of rocks. And we're 90% there. Something like that. And straighten the horizon. And pull in the haze. Tiny bit of clarity. Let's warm it up. There's like 3 things I do every time, right? Dehaze, warm it up, and crop. Yeah, we need to be at about 6,000 K. So let me type that in. No, I don't want to remove the sky altogether. I mean, I think the problem is the rocks towards that are closer in. These rocks down here are just as, you know, they're not, yeah, I don't think that would work. I just need it right about there. It's a hazy world, right? Plus my dying eyes, everything looks hazy. What do we got here? Some, this is like, oh, okay, that's just because it didn't render. All right. I think we're there. So I want to bring up the blues a little bit in this part. This is kind of a dark blue, green. Do I have any, I have some, no, I don't have any color control. So, hey Roman, how are you? So I might have to do it with the tone curve channel. So let's go into blue, and this stuff is right in the middle. So I think I can isolate it here and here. Just so I need blue and I need some green in the same spot. So here and here. There we go. And just a simple, let me see. Where's let me do a sharpen. I need a little bit more contrast. And I want to bring the browns out more, so only way I can do that really is warm it up some. Try 6100. Okay. You see a girl in the background? I don't see nothing. We'll let that render, and I think I'm done here. So do a before and after. So yeah, I'm just basically cropping out, because down here, look, this is not moving at all. There's foam and stuff in here, and it's very different than all the action that's going up here. And I know sometimes you like to do that juxtaposition of calm and angry, or you know, things like that, but I don't think it works like that here too well. I wish I had some color adjustments. I would bring out more of the red and the rocks. But other than that, I think this is where I would go with this. So if we look at mine by itself, yeah, nice. Really nice. Look, there's some birds up here. There's no girl in the picture though. What is this? Oh, it's a rock. All right. Nice shot though. I like it. Really nice. Okay. Let's move on. Ooh, okay. Look at this guy. Man, he's on a mission. What the heck is he carrying? Oh, I hate it when I see people carrying things on their head and using their neck to support whatever that weight is. Because you know, I had 3 herniated discs on my neck once, so I'm really sensitive when I see people carrying stuff on their head, pots or grass or whatever, you know, people. Oof. But yeah, really cool shot. I like the orange and blue here. So I'm gonna really punch the colors on this. I mean, this would be a good black and white shot too, but I really like the colors of his outfit. So I need to crop out this road and all this all this sky and the water reflection. We don't need any of that. So let's do 4x3. Let's just come in really tight and have him walking into the scene. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, let's get a little symmetry going right about there. And yeah, definitely all my dehaze, white balance, and crop. Right, tiny bit of clarity. And where's my saturation? Do I have color control? I'd like to bring it out. No, I got no color control. So let's do it this way. Let's crank the color all the way up. It's rendering, but I think that's going to look good once the color comes in. And we're going to crank up the contrast. I think I can do it with just a tone curve. I'm going to put a pin there and pull it here. That's good. That's a little bit strong. Let me back the color off a little bit. And I'm going to back off the contrast too. Tiny human and big nature. You'd prefer the smaller crop or the wider crop. Careful on the contrast. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too strong. That's why I'm kind of backing it off here. Just a little bit. Okay. Bring some sharpening back in. Let's turn this off. I didn't even look at the EXIF data. Let me look at that real quick. ISO 200 f4, 12 to 100 f4 Pro, EM5 Mark II. So yeah, perfect exposure. All the settings are awesome there. I think this is kind of where I would go. Let's do it before and after. Give that a second to render. It's a little bit soft. Yeah, I think we're good. I don't know if we really need this reflection. I was trying to go for some symmetry, but a little less contrast would be nice. You think the reflection's good? Okay, I'll leave it. I got mixed feelings on it, but it's not bad. I just need a little less contrast. And I think I'm done. We'll let that render. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Oh, come on, render. Just very, very soft looking until it renders. Nice shot. Really nice. I like it. All right, let's move on. Oh, a birdie. Okay, this is from Jose. All right. Wow. Good catch, light. Yeah, nothing today. I only allow myself like once every couple of months, something like that. Uh, I'm just having some tea with a little bit of honey today. Yeah, Windows 10 piece of crap. That's funny. Let's tilt this back down a little bit. Just bird looks a little crooked. I forget what kind of bird this is called. I used to know the name of this bird, but I can't remember now. I think this just needs some vignette. Oh, not that one. Too much. And he did some really strong. Let's look at the EXIF real quick. This is EM1 with the 50 to 200. Oh, that's an awesome lens. At f5.6, so really good settings there. 1/400th of a second. It's a little slow for this kind of bird, but at least he's standing still. Yeah, I think we went a little bit too hard on the contrast or on the curves there. Let me see if I can bring out with the gradation. All right, we're getting there. Let me work on the crop a little bit. A little bit too much headroom here. We'll go right about there, come up a little bit, there, and now we can bring the shadows back to about where you had it. Tony says crop from the right a bit and reduce. Yeah, we were on the same page there. Yep. Let's do that. Let's do that. I wish I could vignette a little more. This background is just too bright. Let me work on. Let me just do it with a tone curve. Ah, no. This is actually harder than it looks. I think the white balance looks good. Gotta be something I can do with this vignetting. Maybe saturation. I think this is all I can do here because it's so bright. Let's compare before and after. Yeah, now you can see the eye really well here. Oh, look how sharp this image is. And the reds are a little stronger. Everything looks good. I did a yeah, there's so much detail in this. Really nice. But yeah, I think the tone curve that you dialed in your camera just crushed the blacks a little bit too much. And we can't see the detail in the feathers, but with this one you can see all the details here a lot better. And I think that looks pretty good. All right, let's move on. Now we're gonna go to the JPEGs. Oh, thank you, nature. I try. Let's do the JPEG images now. All right. Let's see. This is from Des. What did we do today? 1/400th of a second, ISO 500, f4. with a 40 to 150 and the teleconverter 1.4 on the EM5 Mark III. I think everything here is about right, setting wise. But your shutter speed is a little bit too slow. You know, the smaller something is, you really have to crank your shutter speeds up. Now, if the bee was flying and the wings were blurry, you still need to be at about 1/800th of a second. So a shot like this, you really need to be about double this shutter speed, maybe 1/1000th at least. Because there's just this image should be tack sharp with the settings that I see, except for the shutter speed. So that's why this is a tiny bit soft. Because if you look at the flower, right, the flower is not moving. Look at how sharp those bubbles are and everything, right? But the bee, the hairs and everything are just a little bit blurry, and that's because of the tiny bit of motion blur, because the bee's moving fast, you know? But okay, so technical stuff aside, let's do some edits. It's a really good picture otherwise. Let's see, we can definitely, let's pull this down. Maybe not that much, but right about there. Oh, my battery, yeah. I was so unprepared. I thought my batteries were charged. Let's see. I'm charging this other one. This one should be good now. There. Okay. Oh, that's a little bit too much on that. All right, right about there. And this might be a candidate for unsharp mask, but let me just try sharpen. Yeah, that's good enough. Do I have a noise filter? No. Why not? Oh, it's a JPEG. So let me do unsharp mask instead. Go to 250, go to 1 pixel, add the threshold. Maybe, yeah, about there. Let's go to 2 pixels. About 1.4 pixels, okay. And we'll back off the threshold a little bit more. All right, good. And do I have any color control? Ah, finally. Okay, so I'm gonna try and bring these greens down just manually. And these reds and purples, definitely. Tiny bit in the blue. Okay, saturation, I'm gonna do yellows. Ooh, too much. Back it off. A little bit, this just needs a little bit in each one. We can go heavy on the reds though. The reds and blues, we can go pretty heavy. Maybe not that much, right about there. And just back it off a little bit this way. Did I do the vignette? I haven't touched the vignette. And I'm gonna crop out this bud over here. So we'll keep it a square crop, but we'll get rid of this little bud here, come up. So it looks like the bee is hanging off the bottom rather than in the center. And I think I'm done. All right, let's do a before and after. Yeah, so basically using the unsharp mask really brought out you know, the crispiness of the image without adding noise. So again, I have a tutorial on how to use the unsharp mask, but I think that was the critical difference. And then just cranking up the colors, you know, in the blues and yellows and the purples to really bring out the color uh, of the flower and the bee. Other than that, really awesome shot. Probably could use a little clarity. Um, let me add a little clarity. Clarity gives it just a little bit more contrast. Let me see how it looks now. Yeah, perfect. So if we look at this by itself, I think, oops, come on. There we go. Yeah, that looks really good now. Awesome shot. All right, good shot. Good shot, Des. You're getting there. Just need a faster shutter speed for little tiny bees. All right, let's see what we got here. We got a panning shot. Not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good panning shot. Oh, it making me a little dizzy looking at it with these spinning wheels and the Spider-Mans. Look at this Spider-Man. That is so cool. All right. What would I do here? I gotta tilt it a little bit. It feels crooked, even though it probably isn't. But you're getting, I think you must have used silent shutter because I'm seeing a little bit of it looks like, what do they call it? Rolling shutter? Let's look at the specs here. F13, 1/20th of a second. Nikon D5300. So there shouldn't be rolling shutter here. But those older Nikons were a little bit slow on the rolling shutter side. But maybe not. Maybe it's just the distortion. But we gotta crop this. Who is this? Wahab. Wahab, you're always sending me Nikon shots. Let me straighten this out a little bit. I feel like, yeah, that's maybe air too much. 2.5 degrees. And I'm gonna crop out this crooked building a little bit. There we go. I didn't like all the white space up in the corner. And then we'll just do our usual, you know, this is my taste in images, right? I don't know, you know, an art filter might just be, let me think about an art filter. Let's do instant film. Yeah, add some vignette and add a little bit of, take a little magenta, add a little bit of yellow. Not too tight, huh, Plato? Yeah, we need a little more street or something, right? Oh, I don't have any corners left. I mean, it was a tight shot to begin with, but because I straightened it, this instant film is a little bit too red for my taste, though. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting there. More yellow and orange. A little less, yeah, orange. Maybe not. All right. Okay. Tiny bit of, I don't need the haze or clarity. What do I need? I need some contrast. A tiny bit. And I'm going to bring the luminance down on the reds. This red here is bugging me. What kind of red is that? Kind of a pink. Let's see. All right, I think I'm done. Yeah, we need more environment to put the taxi into context. I agree. There isn't a lot there though. I'm only cropped in a tiny bit. Uh, but okay. Let's look at before and after, see how bad I messed this up. But I just kind of wanted to go with kind of a fun filter like instant film. Because it's kind of a fun shot, you know, you have a family there within a Spider-Man bicycle or whatever that is. And they're just going around town. It's just, that's kind of why I went with the instant film filter. Um, and then just a slight crop, really, not much. But if this were my photo, this is probably how I would do it, just to have some fun with it. I bet, you know, pull back the red a little more, but I bet a black and white image would look good. Let me just eyeball the black and white real quick. That's okay too. It's okay too, but I think the color's better. Not my best editing, but I just wanted to keep it kind of a fun image. All right, let's move on. Oh my God, there's so many JPEGs here. I gotta move fast. All right, we did this one. Oh, I like this one. I like this, but we just need to be right here. This was in Malaysia, Wahab? Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot of practice to get panning shots right. Yeah, this is where we need to be. Right, right in here. Oops, I made it crooked. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, really, really nice shot, right, Plato? I liked it. Very fun. Ooh, this needs to be kind of gritty. Let me think how to do that. Where's my saturation? Let me bring in the reds. Let me pull the yellows down. And the blues. And I hate to do clarity because it's gonna mess up the highlights, but let me see. Clarity would work good here in the grass, but it's gonna jack up the highlights. Kinda there. If warming it up helps at all. Tiny bit. All right, let's do the tone curve now. I like this right here. Do this. Ah. Now, seeing this, I might have to exaggerate. Let me see where we're at. God, everything is really dark here. I want to emphasize the way the light is peeking through the trees. I might have to get wonky on the tone curve. But yeah, I think that works. And let me make it a little warmer since I did that. Let me look at the colors here. Let me add some orange again. A little bit too much red. Ooh, a soft focus. Yeah, that would be cool. But it would take, I was going gritty, but I think soft focus would work too, right? That's a good idea. But let me see how this looks first. Let me look at this full screen after it renders. Yeah, there's no detail, so I think soft focus is the way to go. I might have to back the effect off a little bit, but yeah, let's back it off a little bit. Maybe -2. A little bit more. All right, I have to fix my tone curve now. Maybe about like that. All right, I think that's all I can do. The soft focus is just kind of jacking it up a little bit. Maybe that'll work. Let me fix my tone curve here. I was here and then added this in. No, I have to keep the soft focus in just some. All right, I think I'm done. You can go crazy looking at this forever. All right, this looks really dark on my one monitor, but on this monitor it looks pretty good. Oh, you know what I did is dang it. I increased the brightness. Let me fix that real quick on my monitor. Because you guys are probably seeing a really dark image. All right. No, this still looks pretty good. Yeah, I think that works. So before and after. Yeah, see this, all of this is really a mess down here. This was the most interesting part, right in the center. And then just go crazy to taste, you know, for the, whatever your taste is for the look. You know, I kind of went with kind of a surreal kind of look, but I think that works. All right, let's move on. I have a high res shot here. Look at the EXIF. We have f5.6 at ISO 100, Olympus 17 f1.2 with the EM1 Mark II. Man, this is some awesome gear. Damn, good gracious, but a 5-second exposure, man. So you're on a tripod, high res shot with ESP metering. So let's look at this full screen. Man, look at the detail on these high res shots. That's what I love about Olympus, you know, you can crank in that high res shot mode on some of their cameras. I feel like it's oh, okay. So we got a lot of exposure things going on. What's this? We got some red in here, so I'm gonna work with that red. And I think I can crop right along this line. Let's see what I can do. Um, Man, this one has manual gradation. But let's do that. And a little bit of dehaze. Tony, are you talking about this bridge picture right now, or are you talking about the trees? The trees were a little bit dark. You're right. But this bridge picture, oh, okay. You are talking about the bridge picture. All right, so let's do a little more dehaze. And now let's work with saturation, I think. Well, this is not a raw image, so I'm debating monochrome with a red filter, but I like the red lines down here. I'm gonna try and bring these out if I can. Let me see where it's, let's crank up the reds here. And the luminance. And let me see if I can straighten this out a little bit. I don't know why this looks crooked. I think it's because of this bridge right here. And okay, the red's out. Now we got some yellows in here. Let me see what I can do with this yellow. Kind of a yellow green. I'm like focused on like the least important thing in the image, right? But I think it adds a nice little accent right underneath the bridge, right? Kind of like that. So let's look at a crop. You're right about there. And let's see. I need to work with the blue a little bit. It's a little bit too saturated. So let me pull that back a little bit. A little bit more. Eyes need to be a little brighter. Okay, I think I'm done. So let's do a before and after. Still rendering a little bit. But there's the before and after. So I just cut out most of the sky and emphasized these little red holes or whatever they are down in here. And, you know, brought the shadows back in. But I think we're good because the detail here is amazing. Look at that. You can see all the rivets in the bridge and everything. Makes me want to get a 17F1 too, man. I just want that. Did we lose the dusk feel with the brightness? I didn't feel like it was dusk. This feels like midday to me. But I can just bring some white balance in. That'll warm it up and make it look a little more Yeah, all right, let's look at that. Yeah, that kind of works for me just the way it is. But yeah, I mean, I just can't believe you can count the rivets on this bridge and you can see the fencing and everything. This is amazing. That's an amazing lens. I've done high res shots before with some of my lenses. I don't get anywhere near this kind of sharpness. Wow. I don't know if Sam is here or not. Okay, let's move on to the next one. There's a, oh, okay, we're almost down to the last couple. All right, good. I mean, I love doing these, but I'm getting really hungry. Okay, I like this. I like this, Lauren. Um, just too much grass. I gotta go 16 by 9 or tighter. A little bit tighter. Yeah, like that. And it's still too much grass. I just can't see past the grass. I don't know. Let me see. Let me look at your original crop here. Yeah, this is too much grass and your focus point is right here too. But this to me is where all the interesting stuff is, not the grass. The grass makes a nice little pattern. Hmm. It's not grass, what is it? Let me try a square crop. Maybe wheat. It's wheat. Okay, thank you. It's a wheat field. Ugh. I mean, I kind of like a little bit of everything in the image, but I can't make anything. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna go crazy here. And let me put a green filter. You like the gold color? I just took it all out. uh, I think this is kind of where I would go. It needs to render. Actually, it doesn't need to render. I just jacked it up. What did I do here? Too much dehaze or clarity. Let me take this out and back this off. I bring it back the color and let me look again. I don't like the color. I like the black and white better with a green filter. And let me look at red real quick, but I think that's going to be opposite what I want. Yeah, that's crap. Green is better. I think this is where I would go with this image. I'd almost like to silhouette these mountains and trees. Let me work with the tone curve. Yeah, I think this is where I would go. The wheat's about ready to be harvested, huh? I just don't like the yellow. But let's look at the yellow. I think I like this crop. I'm just not a fan of the color for some reason. Let me back off the color a little bit. A little bit there. All right. So there's the color version. I like my black and white better, but it's all just personal preference, right? But I think the key here is just the crop. Not the wheat field crop, but just the crop of the image. This is just too much grass or wheat. This to me has more things to look at. But Lauren's so good. He's always sending the best images, you know? And he has a great portfolio too. All right, let's see, last one. And then we'll look at the images you guys edited of mine. Let's see, an architectural photo. More of an abstract now, right? Yeah. Okay, okay. A lot going on here, but this bike is the most interesting thing, but these stupid signs here. I think this is my crop right here. I mean, I like the building, but not enough. Not as much as I like this bicycle. So I'm gonna go really tight and just get, whoops, just get the bike in the window. Like this. Maybe. Oh, sorry. Let's look at the EXIF data real quick. This is ISO 200 f5, 1/1600th of a second, minus 2/3 EV, with the 12 to 40 Pro f2.8 on EM10 Mark II. So good settings. Everything is perfect there setting wise. My crop is not right. Maybe. I hate that frickin' sign there. Might have to go a little tighter. We're getting there. This kind of reminds me of the image I had you guys edit for me. Let me try that. All right, now. Yeah, it's a little wonky, the perspective. I should have straightened it before I cropped in. Gentle sepia. Hey, Lauren. No problem, Lauren. I messed it up pretty bad, but there was some disagreement about what the image was about and what was in the image. Or not disagreement, I was wrong. I called it grass, it was wheat. This sepia didn't work. Let's try monotone and we'll add some split toning in. Yeah. Go with some dehaze. And go to blue. Split tone it a little bit. Because that gentle sepia was a little bit too harsh. I didn't want anything that strong, so you can do it yourself in the tone curves. Now let's let's work with the highlights. Maybe. Yeah, we're getting there. Back that off one. Yeah, that's not a great curve. A vintage filter might be okay. That's true. If we wanted to keep it in color, I'll try that. I think this is what I would do, basically. We'll try a vintage filter. But yeah, everything in the image is just kind of not that interesting, but this bike is. I would have moved these signs if you, you know, without moving them, or got in closer so I could get more of the bike instead of the sign. But let's try a vintage filter. You knew I would do that, right? Let's try vintage one. That's kind of the warmest. Oh, I gotta put the color back in. Hold on. Oh, that looks good. I like that. Yeah, that looks good, Roman. I like that vintage. I like it. It just needs a tiny bit more contrast or vignette or something. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. This looks good. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the images you guys edited for me. This was from last week. I don't have the original here to compare, but you did a really good job with the tones in the sky and brought the shadows back in the grass. I I wonder, did you brush out a tree that was here? I seem to remember there was a tree over here, like a small one. The only thing missing is the horizon is just a tiny bit crooked. But I think other than that, really good job. Okay. But that was last week's image. Let's look at what you guys did. Where's the original? Do this. Okay, here's the original image. This is in Alexandria when it flooded one day, so the police were there, as you can see. But normally you can walk all the way down to here, up to the water, but it's all flooded. And I thought this would be a good challenge for everyone, because it's got some elements in it you can work with. You can work with the reflections, you can work with the bike. You know, maybe this building and police car or the fire. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different things. But what's funny is when I looked at all the edits, everybody did kind of the same thing. We all went right for the bicycle, but the processing, you guys did a really good job. So let me put yours side by side. Who was this? This was from Surge, right? I think this is really good. I like the tones and everything in the framing. I mean, this is the most, I think, natural looking image uh, without getting all surreal and artsy fartsy about it. This is a really good image, really good processing without getting too creative in terms of colors or going too crazy with colors. So that's really nice. And then this one here, well, this is the original. We don't need to see that anymore, right? This one here is, the crop is good. I like the square crop, and then we went to monochrome, which I like, but it doesn't look like you did much more than that. Same idea though, everybody's focusing in on the bike. But I think this is a good start to an edit, but I don't think you're done yet. Really, I would have went a little bit further. And yeah, it looks good in black and white though, I think. No problem. But I don't think you're done yet. This is Ian, right? Ian, I think you can do more. See, like this person, this is almost the same exact crop, but they went a little further than you did, Ian. Who is? I'm sorry. Let me see who this is. This is Bob. Bob and I are usually on the same page on every edit. Like you would think the two of us would make identical edits of something if you watch our streams, or watch my stream, I should say. But Bob went black and white, but took it a little further. Because now the bike, this blue and this yellow are exactly the same. So it looks like somebody spray painted the bike like just this one color. Interesting. That's an interesting edit. I don't like it, but it's very interesting. Very interesting edit. The way the bike looks like it was just painted one color, the tires, everything. I like that part of it anyway. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. You thought cropping from the top that low would be squashing. I'm not sure. Darren. Okay, Darren. Okay, now I understand. Now we're looking at your image, right? So you didn't want to crop all this out. You kind of wanted to keep all of this. You did kind of the same thing as Bob did. You really muted the spread here between blue and yellow so that this looks the same. So the image is very, these are more low key, not low key, but I'm sorry, but low contrast images. I think that's the challenge. Because I like high contrast, but you and Bob went with very low contrast images. But the monochrome is definitely seems to be a theme here, because I went monochrome myself. You'll see my edit here soon, but okay, yeah, that's a good crop too, actually. It kind of works. You get more of the scene, right? What's going on. Whereas the other pictures, they focus just on the bicycle like I did. I see where you were going with this, about capturing more of the environment of where this bike is sitting and not just the bike. So I can appreciate that part of it. It's a ghost bike, huh, Tony? Oh, that's funny. So yeah, I get that, Bob. Oh, look at this. Ah, wait, who did this one? This is from Hugh Perry. Yeah, the rest was too busy. Yeah. God, I love this edit. This is, man, I love this edit. It's got a certain amount of sharpness and softness at the same time. This is great. The crop I'm not crazy about. You kind of lost the front tire. But maybe that's why it works. I don't know, but I love this edit. Very muted colors, but sharp and soft at the same time. So the clarity's been kind of reversed, right? This is kind of the reverse look clarity. Or very, very mild soft focus. This is yours, soft to be fun? Your Hue? The hydrant was too distracting. You did an awesome job though. I really like that edit. Yeah, Bob, you couldn't get the partial color to work either, right? Yeah, I had the same problem. Yeah, really good. I love that. I love the edit. I would have kept the hydrant in, but other than that, I love the edit. Like, see, I like the hydrant. I don't like this car. But here's a partial color. Who's this? Jones. So see, Jonas went with partial color, which almost works. It's just these funky tires. If the tires weren't like this funky color, like the original image, these tires are not right. If these were black tires, I think partial color would have worked better. But when you have these white tires, it just, the partial color I'm having trouble with, but I like where it's going. I like this red here. And you were able to save all the colors in the bulbs. And then it looks like you've also applied some blurriness back here. Maybe, what is this called? Maybe a diorama filter or something? Or if you use Workspace. If you didn't use Workspace, then that would explain why this is kind of blurry, but this is still sharp here. I like a lot of the effects you applied. I like a lot of the effects. I think this is another edit that could really is going in the right direction, but it needs more. It needs a little more work somewhere. Mainly with the tires. I would try and figure out if it can be done, something with these tires. The rim, I like the yellow rim against this like teal, sky blue. And I like this would be an interesting crop right here. This tire with this blue trash can, I would love to do this. Okay, okay, well now we're down to my edit. So it's use Photoshop, Jonas, okay. Where's my edit? Here's the, oh, crap. Is this my edit? That looks like crap. Holy smokes. This is the edit I did. I don't know what happened. I had the same problem with the tires. They just got all blended in. Really, really bad edit. I didn't have much time last night before I put it up. I wanted to work on it some more this morning before I went in, but I just didn't have time. So this is the edit I came up with. But same basic idea, right? Basically, I cropped out the police car, kept the fire hydrant, and cropped everything out back here. So this is the worst one out of all of them. You all did better than I did. Every one of you. You guys all did a better job. Man. Okay, let's call it. So the light on the post had to go. Yeah. Split the picture. I have to call it. I'm really hungry. And you guys, thanks for submitting all your images. I really appreciate it. And thanks for editing my image. You guys really did an awesome job. Much better than I did. Every one of them. So I appreciate that. And I guess Lowe's, hopefully you emailed me. I can email you back the edit if you want it. And you guys have a great week. We'll see you back on Thursday.